Okay, how about this?
Excuse me, gentlemen, before you begin, could you identify yourself, give your title, spell your names, please?
Yes. I'm Curtis Golden, Golden. I'm the state attorney for the First Judicial Circuit of Florida. In effect, I'm the district attorney for this circuit. I have with me Captain Raymond Harper, the City Police Department. Yes, City Police Department, Pensacola. And I'll let each of the others identify themselves.
Sergeant George Underwood, Pensacola Police Department. Patrolman David Lee, Pensacola Police Department.
James C. Davis, Chief of Police, Pensacola Police Department.
I'd like to announce that the individual arrested in Pensacola Wednesday morning, who was using the name Kenneth Raymond Meisner, has now been positively identified to be Theodore Robert Bundy, who was on the FBI 10 Most Wanted list. He has been charged in Pensacola with the offenses of the possession of a stolen vehicle, the possession of 21 stolen credit cards, with resisting arrest with violence, and with battery on a police officer. He is wanted in Aspen, Colorado, on an offense of first-degree murder. He escaped from the jail in Colorado on December the 31st of 1977. I'll answer any questions which you have.
Has he been charged in the killings down in Carter State?
He has not.
Do you think he is involved in those? Can you tell us about that?
I'm in no position to discuss with you the investigation in Tallahassee. I'm not a part of that investigation. I'm not privy to the investigation. So I'm in no position to discuss that with you this time. I can tell you that the 21 credit cards were stolen from co-eds at Florida State University, but the credit cards have no relation to the co-eds who were either assaulted or killed.
What statements has Mr. Bundy given you?
I'm sorry, I cannot answer that question.
Is there a possibility he's going to become a federal prisoner now?
At this point, he is charged in in Pensacola, and we have not made any decision as to whether he will be tried in Pensacola or in Florida before he is released to any other state.
Those credit cards come from the same sorority house that the girls were killed in?
I'm not quite sure. I don't believe they did.
What's his disposition now? Is he being held without bond? Has there been an extradition request from Colorado, or what?
He appeared before a circuit judge in Pensacola yesterday morning. At that time, he had not identified himself, and consequently, he was denied bond. Since he has been positively identified, he has the legal right to have bond set for him on the charges pending in Pensacola. He will appear back before the court sometime today, we don't know what time, for the purpose of the judge determining the amount of bond.
What's Mr. Bundy's demeanor and attitude?
I'm sorry, I cannot comment on that.
Is he cooperating with you?
I cannot comment on
Have you talked to the authorities in Colorado?
that. We've talked to the authorities in Colorado, yes. We've had inquiries from numerous places in the United States.
What do they want to do?
Well, they're awaiting our decision here as to what we're going to do.
When do you make that decision?
Brad, I cannot tell you at this time when the decision will be made. We are continuing our investigation locally. The decision will be made after all of the investigations have been completed.
What were the circumstances under which he was arrested? Would you go
In Pensacola?
Yeah.
I'll allow the officer who made the arrest to answer those questions.
Yes, sir.
What happened?
Well,
What happened on the night?
yes, sir, there were 2 shots fired.
By him and you?
No, sir, just by myself. He wasn't armed. There was no weapon found on
Did
him.
he resist arrest with violence?
Yes, sir, he did.
What did he do? You owe to you?
Mr. Gillen?
Yes.
You get promoted.
Yes. I'm sorry, but we cannot allow the officer at this time to comment on any statements which the defendant may have made at the time.
Is he still violent?
Pardon?
Is he still violent?
Is he still violent? Obviously, the man isn't. He's incarcerated at the present time.
Can you tell us a little bit about his incarceration? Has he eaten breakfast?
I'm sorry. I can't answer that question because I don't know.
Curtis, is it true that he engaged an Atlanta attorney yesterday?
It is, yes, he spoke with an Atlanta attorney yesterday.
So you may have some locations.
I cannot give you the number. I understand that that there are possibly 25 different law enforcement agencies throughout the United States who are interested in questioning him about various offenses.
How long will these present security measures still remain? The ones that you have
they're
now?
concentrated in that area. Yes.
How long will these security measures remain on the building, for example?
You will have to speak to some representative from the city police department.
The reason I'm asking, I come down early in the morning, like 5:30, and I like to got blown away this morning, and I just want to be sure. I don't want that to happen again, because I drive between that island, it's dark, and I was surrounded this morning.
Well,
and I'd like to know. I don't want to come down. I'll wait till Monday, so we'll hold this off by then.
I can tell you this: the building was closed for security purposes, and it will remain closed so long as they feel it's necessary in order to ensure proper security.
Is he in a cell by himself?
I cannot answer that question.
Mr. Gold, I apologize, but has he confessed to anything at all to this point?
I cannot answer that question.
Okay, can you tell me what his, if you know, what his whereabouts were between the night of December 31st and Wednesday night?
The 31st and Wednesday morning.
Between the time he escaped from the jail and Glenwood Springs to when he was apprehended here.
I'm not in a position to recount his various activities or his location at any particular time, other than I can tell you that he was in Tallahassee, Florida, immediately
Monday, didn't you? And he was arrested on Wednesday morning.
We have.
Where was he staying then? Do you have any idea where he was staying? Address? From Monday to Wednesday?
No, I'm not in a position to do that.
Do you have any idea what he was doing in Tallahassee, how he was supporting himself, etc.?
I cannot comment on that.
And do you have any idea how he wound up in Pensacola?
As to the amount, if we receive from Aspen, Colorado, and a request that he be held for, deny him the right to bond. Otherwise, he will have the right to have bond set on the charges in Pensacola.
What time? You're not.
Brad, I'm sorry, I do not know at this time. I'm quite sure, though, that it will not be this morning. It will, in all probability, be sometime this afternoon.
How would we know that? Calling here? I mean, if we call here, would you tell us that when the bond hearing will be?
Yes, we'd be more than happy to have someone available who can answer that for you.
Did you say whether or not you knew his address in Tallahassee, or would you?
I cannot comment on that. Speak to the U.S. District Attorney, Mr. Nick Geeker, with reference to that.
Have you talked to the USA?
Transfer to Tallahassee for questioning with him?
They have made no request as of this time with reference to
How
that.
about the Colorado authorities? Have they asked that he be returned there?
We have they have made no specific request at this time. We have every reason to believe, though,